Hi, Sydney. Do you want to play a game? What's your favorite YouTube channel? Better be the Tyler Price channel. What's poppin', y'all? Welcome back to another YouTube video. Today we're taking a look at another news video. Not a news video, it's a film review. I lied. I do apologize about that. But today we take a look at Scream 4. We took a look at Scream 3, 2, and 1 over the past 3 days. Now we're taking a look at 4 today. We'll take a look at 5 and 6 over the next 2 days. So we're taking a look at the whole Scream franchise over the course of this week on the channel, so you can enjoy that for this spooky month. And this is number 4, which I think is a lot better than number 3. And I actually quite like this one. This one is really, really good, but very, very different as well. So without any further delay, I think we should go over to see what Google has to say about this movie. So this is Scream 4, happily titled Scream 4, and it does have a runtime of a solid 1 hour and 51 minutes, roughly the same as most of the others. It is a horror mystery, and it came out in 2011. Which is, I do believe, 11 years after number 3, because number 3 came out in the 2000s. Holy shit, that's a very long time. But this has a 6.2 out of 10 on IMDb and a 6% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it does have watchability on Amazon Prime and then Google Play. At the end of her book tour, Cindy visits her hometown after 10 long years as she catches up with old friends. Her return not only brings back memories, but also beckons the return of Ghostface. So, how this one actually goes is with Cindy returning on her book tour to basically, sell more books. And she's targeted by Ghostface yet again, and Ghostface also attacks her little cousin, who was upset that Cindy left her hometown and is upset that she left her and stuff like that. So, she tries to build that little bit of a connection back with the cousin, and the cousin's friend group is the one actually getting attacked. They all get a phone call that night being like, hi. And it does lead everybody to be quite afraid and quite scared. And that friend group then dies one by one, and one of them actually goes to a film club who is analyzing the situation and is constantly live streaming because that is the new way of the world. So they're trying to be meta, they're trying to be cool, and basically have Ghostface recording his killings now to post them online, which they are doing, but on the streamers, basically the early day streamers YouTube channel. And I think that's pretty cool. I think that's very forward and very modern, to be fair. Because I reckon if there was a Ghostface in real life in nowadays time, they would actually be using social media to promote their Ghostface antics. But we see all the characters die one by one as per usual. Ghostface disappears all the time. The police get involved and basically are on watching the Prescott household to just make sure that they're all alive and not dying. And it turns out that after everybody is getting killed, it is one of the movie dudes and also Cindy's cousin, because Cindy's cousin is upset with Cindy for getting all the fame and all the glory. She wants some of that fame and glory. So Cindy, Gale Weathers, end up killing her and her boyfriend as well, who is one of the movie nerds, because, why would they want to keep them alive? However, unfortunately, they all survived. The one killer, the one girl, the cousin survived and ended up in hospital, and so did Sydney. She survived as well after getting shot, which leaves Dewey and Gale Weathers in hospital, going to, kill her. Dewey, I do believe, gets hit, and so does Gale, and then it leaves it up to the other cop, who actually gets shot as well, to save the day. And then Cindy ends up killing her cousin and shooting her in the head, and now that's going to leave a lot of trauma. I am going to be honest. I'm going to be a real honest here. That's really weird. We also have Dewey and Gale Weathers meeting up again after a long time. Dewey is the, I do believe, sheriff, and they give their relationship yet another go. And their story is getting very boring and very repetitive now. Every movie, they start off broken up and haven't spoken to each other in a while, and then they slowly get together over the course of the movie. That is literally just their plot arc every single time. And Gale's plot arc is literally, oh, we don't trust you, you've
betrayed us in the past by writing a book on it. She promises not to write a book and then works with them and then ends up helping to save the day. That is how all these stories go. With Gale and with Dewey, their characters are very one-note, very boring, and very basic and very predictable. But you can't help but love him. You can't help but love him. Sydney is again getting sick of this ghost face shit, so he's becoming a lot more toughened up and a lot harder, where she's able to, try and go and scrap Ghostface and is just open to fighting him now instead of hiding and running away. Like, she's definitely a different person now and has grown a lot from these experiences, obviously going through a lot of trauma and a lot of issues with basically Ghostface attacking her entire life, and that is going to leave some serious issues and a lot of mental struggles and a lot of mental battles. So I don't blame her for feeling like this or being like this, and she's an absolute badass in this one because she does basically just take down her cousin without feeling anything. Like, she does it so cold and so badass, not gonna lie. The way they filmed this one is also extremely different from the others. Like, there is a lot of camera glare from all the light in this movie, and it just gives it a different vibe, and you can tell, like, what era this movie came out in and what most movies come out in with the camera tricks and with, like, the movies and stuff like that, and just, like, how they act and how they talk and how they are. You can obviously tell what era the movies are from, and with this one, I quite liked it because Ghostface was a lot more active and a lot more prominent in the story. Like, most of the time he's obviously there and they're hunting him down, but he showed up a lot more in this one compared to the other three, which I did appreciate. I thought that was really cool and really good. I just liked how he had a pretty big presence. And again, I liked how they went back to having 2 killers rather than just 1 in Scream 3. Because Scream 3 was the only movie with 1 killer, which, I don't know, I'm out here guessing people. And again, I got this one correct, actually. I got 1 correct. I didn't guess the cousin, but I guessed the guy with the long hair, so I was correct in this one. I was quite happy with that. Getting some right, so we're getting better at this guessing game. We're getting better at getting to know the characters and seeing them. And one of my biggest complaints from the last couple of movies was not getting to know the characters that are being killed, not getting to know the characters who are dying, and that's where this one does so much better. We get a lot of screen time with the characters, we get a lot about their relationships, about who they are, what they like, and just how they are as a person, so you feel a lot more connected to them and care a lot more when they actually do end up getting killed or end up surviving. It is really good, and I do appreciate that. Again, Scream is one of those franchises that takes the criticism that you give them and improves on it for the next movie. We've seen that so much with this franchise that I really do appreciate it. I think it's good work that they're doing, and again, this one is one of the better ones and one of my, not one of my favorites, but it is up there with, like, some of the best ones. I think I gave This one's getting an 8 out of 10. If you couldn't tell already, this one's getting an 8 out of 10. It's obviously not better than the original, but it still has the core things that make it Scream, with the movie nods to, like, how horror movies go, the meta commentary on it, and I really liked the opening gag, where it was somebody watching a movie getting killed to somebody watching a movie to getting killed by Ghostface, and it just pulled out a load of, like, jokes and gags of being like, oh, when is the actual movie going to start? When are we, like, not going to be watching Stab? And I thought that was really creative, really cool, and again, they know when to take themselves seriously, but they can also take a joke and have a little bit of a laugh and have a little bit of a comedic element there to it as well. I've said in all the other Screams, the music is great, the acting is great, the story is decent on the most part. It is literally the same thing over and over and over again. You cannot deny that, but they acknowledge that in the movies, and it still feels different because we have a new set of characters, a new location most of the time, and we have, like, again, new people, new faces, new connections to, like, these characters, which make it stand out and make it more interesting and make it not feel stale and boring. And that's what I didn't feel watching these movies. I didn't feel like bored or felt like I was watching the same movie over and over and over again. So even though it has the same premise, it has the same ideals, it has the same like story beats, they do it in such a way which is creative and makes it so that it's still interesting to watch. And I like that, and I appreciate that, because one of my biggest complaints about movies is when it feels repetitive and like I've seen it before. Like if you're just doing the same shit over and over and over again without making it interesting, without switching it up a little bit, making it a little bit more creatively fulfilling, that is when I have an issue. But Scream does it in such a great way where it is just so like different and gets you to like not expect some of the characters being the killers. And again, they throw red herrings at you, throw you all over the place to get you off the trail of the actual killer. It's really cleverly like written and really cleverly filmed as well, to have the characters seem like they're not going to be Ghostface or seem like they are Ghostface but actually aren't. It subverts expectations and also gives us a lot to think about, so you are constantly analysing the characters, which builds that tension, constantly has you on the edge of your seat to be like, who is the killer? Because you can't trust anybody in these movies other than Sidney, Dewey and like Gale Weathers. You cannot trust anybody because anybody could be a killer. This one, again, solid 8 out of 10, one of my favourites from the franchise, and I hope you all come back tomorrow. We're going to take a look at number 5 from Scream, and other than that, I hope you all enjoyed this YouTube video. I'll see you all next one. I hope you all have an excellent day, and I'll love you and leave you. If you do want a little bit more Tyler Price in your life, though, please do subscribe to the channel, get notifications on to be notified every time I upload a video, and also check the link in the description of this video to find my link tree, so you can check out everything else that I have to offer as a content creator on other platforms, not just YouTube. Enough self-promotion, now I'm actually leaving. Bye.